So we can finally get FSR3 frame generation technology for NVIDIA DLSS 3 frame generation supported games on RTX GPUs that don't support NVIDIA frame generation. Okay, so this is my RTX 3080, and as you can see here in just one, I am getting NVIDIA DLSS 3 toggle. So now this is not DLSS 3 frame generation. This is FSR 3, but it is working in conjunction with DLSS upscaling, which looks better than FSR. So in my opinion, right away, there is an advantage over FSR 3 native FSR 3 frame generation supported games because the upscaling looks better. You get less shimmering. That's what I believe. I believe this is DLSS. And Cyberpunk, I also believe it is DLSS. So it looks very, very good. So now, it is not flawless. And I can definitely see the ghosting issues. But it is not a deal breaker because, look at this. I am getting right now 120 FPS. And on this Unreal Engine 5 game, that is just out of reach for my 3080. And it's not only a GPU matter, the CPU is very, very demanding. These Unreal Engine 5 games are very demanding on the CPU too. Okay, so this just going to allow an experience that is out of reach for many, many games. And again, it's not working right now flawlessly on all the games I've tried. I've been getting a lot of crashes and issues, but when it works, I am very happy. Okay, so now let me share with you what I see. Some of the defects that I see that you might also encounter and how to try to minimize it a little bit. Okay. You can see ghosting. Okay, yes, you can see ghosting when you're looking at the character, surrounding the character here. You see that there is ghosting, and that ghosting is not because of the upscaling. It is because of this frame generation. How do I know that? Because if I turn it off, I don't get that ghosting. So I'm gonna turn this off right now, and I do this, and I don't see that ghosting surrounding the character anymore. Okay, so that ghosting is clearly because of frame generation. So now you can see here I can still get 113 114 frames per second even without frame generation. But here is the problem. Here's the difference. I want to get a rock solid 120 frames per second so I don't get judder when I use OLED Motion Pro High on my LG C1. And I want to use this because it is absolutely amazing. It gives you 2.6x better motion. So for me, for the way I use my display with my PC, this is a massive difference. Okay, so we're not talking about from 112, 113 frames with VRR to 120. You might think, oh, it doesn't make any difference. Why would you get ghosting for that small difference? It's not worth it. For me, it is worth it because I am getting 2.6x of better motion. Okay, so if NVIDIA tells you, hey, buy this brand new GPU so you can get 2.6x better performance, I'm sure a lot of people just go run and buy it. Okay, especially if you have the cash for it. So it is a massive difference, and this is, in my opinion, this is the reason to use these technologies mainly. It's not to get barely 60 frames per second. Of course, if that's what you can get, I mean, we get what we can depending on your hardware and on the game too, because it's not a problem with your hardware. It's just the games are getting way too demanding because we see this push for graphics. Okay, and some big channels, and their opinion is basically, oh no, just increase it more and more and more. If it drops below 60 FPS on a 4090 with DLSS quality, that's okay. And that's not okay. Okay, but that's a topic for another video. And I've talked about that many times. But this is the way I would use this feature. You see the difference on the frame rate. Now I'm getting 120, but look at my GPU utilization. Okay, it's 76-77%, which is going to, you know, compensate a little bit for the input lag penalty, but it is also going to, you know, I wouldn't say guarantee, because I haven't played this game long enough to know how demanding it gets, but it's going to, you know, at least allow me to get that solid 120 throughout the game, hopefully. Unless this game starts doing some crazy, you know, it just gets way too demanding. But yeah, the ghosting is there, and you can see it everywhere. Let me get this out of the way. I can see it on the fence. I mean, there's this ghosting that it looks, the color of the fence, which is brown, you have like a ghosting that is like a vertical ghosting. When I approach, this has nothing to do with FSR 3. This is just the upscaling. See, you see that brown ghosting that I see on the fence? I see that even without the frame generation. If I turn that off, I still see that ghosting. Let me show you that. That's not the ghosting we're talking about. You know, there are many imperfections. You see, that's still there. That brown ghosting is still there. You can see it. It's a mess. And it does bother me a lot. It is immersion breaking, unfortunately. But that is because I am upscaling from a lower resolution. Take a look at this resolution quality, okay? It is a little bit more than 1080p. So right at the middle would be from 1080p to 4K. So it's a little bit more than 1080p. I wish they tell me exactly what is the percentage here, or what is the resolution I am upscaling from, but it doesn't tell you that. But the ghosting we're talking about here is this double images. You see, like it depends on the background, the color of the background, but you can see it. Let me see if I can find a good way to notice it. Here's the thing, the ghosting is being reduced a little bit because GPU is 74%, 120 rock solid, but if I am getting like 100 frames and the GPU utilization is higher, I see the ghosting more clear. Because I am, like right now, I am not seeing the ghosting I was noticing surrounding the fence here. And when I was tweaking the settings, going up and down, and I was using 100 frames, I was seeing more. I was noticing more ghosting here, more double images here on the fence. I can see it now. Look. I spot it now. I can see it here. Take a look at this. On the fence, you see that double image on the fence? It is clear. See, but it was reduced, definitely. And I can see it surrounding the character too. You can see the ghosting on the character. But it's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal. So now on this game we do have this NVIDIA Reflex. It is locked right now. So I am not sure if it is working, but let's try to find out, okay? If I do this, if I turn this off and turn it off, and I save, then I turn this on back again, it says on. But I'm not sure if this is on plus boost, or if it is not even working. So let's try to find out. If I move, tada, 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 tada. So I see input lag. This is not to play like a first-person shooter like that. It depends on the game. The responsiveness, it depends on the game. It depends on your GPU utilization. It depends on if you are hitting the maximum refresh rate of your display, and boost is there to help with that. So it depends on many things, but right now this is what we're getting. Tada, 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 tada. Now let's try to do this and see if it makes any difference. If I come here, turn this back to on plus boost, you see it stays there. Let's see. Para, 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 para. I think it is making a difference. Look. Para, 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 para. Let me go back. Para, 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 para. I think it is making a difference, or maybe it is the placebo effect, okay? But I believe it is making a difference. So you let me know. I think it is. I think it is kind of working. So now we can get a special K to force that. But the thing is, with this mod having so many issues with crashing, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Sometimes it might be crashing because I'm trying to use MSI Afterburner. I am also using Reshade on top of that. I am using Reshade to fix the HDR, native HDR of this game, which has a black level raise. I am using this Lilium's HDR black floor fixed shader. Enable SDR black floor emulation. Okay, that's to get the black floor fix. So I'm using the HDR analysis tool to set that up. You see now I have perfect blacks, minimum CLL, 0 nits. So I am using that, and I'm using the native HDR with dynamic tone mapping on my LG C1. So I need to have Reshade and MSI Afterburner to tweak the settings, but with this mod, those programs sometimes might be causing the game to crash. Okay, so if you add a special K to that to improve the latency, well, you can definitely try it. I will try it. But this morning I was trying multiple games. For example, I tried Ratchet and Clank, and it worked the first time. And before opening the game, I closed it, and then it never worked back again. So I don't know what's going on. Sometimes that is happening. Remnant, the same thing happened. I turned it on. It was working. So I was able to turn it on the game, but it said you need to restart the game for this to work. And it was not working because I was getting the frame rate I was used to get without frame generation. And then when I restart the game, it started crashing again. But Remnant does, it does have a message that pops up. It tells you this doesn't work with Riva Turner Statistics Server or MSI Afterburner, something like that. You need to close it, and I do close it. But the issue, you see like an Epic Games report or something like that, it tells you DLSS issue. So I have to basically delete the DLSS file from this mod for it to even open. But these are the settings I'm using for AutoMotion Pro on this game right now. Dynamic tone mapping on, and 111.3.111, and mastering peak max CLL 1000 because that's about what the game is doing. So now these are not like the ultimate settings for AutoMotion Pro on this game, but it's just what I'm trying right now. The SDR HDR trick might be the brightest and the best option. But yeah, I mean, this is just getting started, and I am expecting the games to start working without issues with this mod or with other mods that are doing similar things. Maybe this ghosting issue that we can see now, and I saw this ghosting issue on Cyberpunk also. It was not a deal breaker either, but I saw it. Maybe this issue will get resolved with the modding community, and I definitely appreciate that. And also, some people said, why are you so against paid mods? Okay, that's a fair question. Why? Well, here's the thing. I've been the whole morning, I'm talking about 3 hours, trying to get this mod working on other games. So imagine if I have to pay for this and it doesn't work, then that's a problem. Okay, so you see why. for me, it doesn't make sense to pay for mods. So now I installed this mod from this developer, and it worked on the game that I want to play, and I'm very happy with it. I have no issue in a donation, no problem. Okay, this is my appreciation. But if I pay for something, it has to work, and it doesn't work just flawlessly on every single game. Okay, and nobody, like the creator is not saying that it should work. He's saying he said, I think I tested this on Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3, and it works, and it does. Okay, but that's the idea. Okay, mods are messy, and I am okay with that. What I am not okay with is to have to pay for it. And the other reason why I do not promote paid mods is because I usually don't promote anything that you have to pay unless it is a sponsor. And if it is a sponsor video, I'm gonna tell you this is a sponsor. I'm getting paid for this, so I'm gonna tell you the good about this product or this service or this program. Okay, so I have a platform, and my platform has a value. I am not gonna be promoting something if I'm not getting paid for it, unless I believe it is worth promoting. Okay, if that makes any sense. So that's another reason. And the other reason why I don't like paid mods is because not everyone can pay for mods. Okay, I come from Cuba. That's my country of origin. Nobody can pay for anything on Cuba. Okay, the credit cards and banks, it doesn't exist. You have to get all the games, from if you wanna pay, if you wanna play the games. Okay, so usually in Cuba, when I was living there, I used to go to a friend's house. I copy the games that he has, he copies the games that I have, and that's how we play. Okay, and we download things from the internet, especially mods. So if you have a paid mod, those people cannot get it. It doesn't matter if they have their money in their pocket and they want to pay, that they just cannot do it. Yeah, that's another reason why I do not like mods. It just goes against the spirit of mods. Because, for example, this mod, in my opinion, it is a big middle finger to NVIDIA. Okay? Big middle finger to NVIDIA. And I am very happy because it exists. But I wouldn't be happy if I'm like, hey, middle finger to NVIDIA, I had to pay, $25 or $10 or whatever for this mod. It doesn't feel the same. Yeah, middle finger, like a real middle finger to NVIDIA, has to be free. Okay, it is free. You're trying to charge for it. Okay, here's the modding community. It says it is actually free, and it should work. It is something that I should have from the get-go. Okay, that's how you middle finger NVIDIA and all these big corporations. But if you want to support the developer, go for it. And nothing against that. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. All the games you've tested with this mod, if they work. I'm still trying to figure out why it doesn't work for some games. Even if I get the message popping, even if it works the first time, why is it crashing? I don't understand why it is crashing afterwards if the first time was working. And then after that, it just doesn't want to work, which is so weird. But yeah, it will get better. If you know the solution, let me know. If you know how to fix all the crashing issues and all that, let me know. For now, this game, for example, I mean, it is very, very encouraging to play it because 120 all motion pro high. This looks like 312 frames per second in motion. Yes, I see some ghosting, but it's not a big deal, and it feels good enough for this game. Feels good enough, and it looks good. So, yeah, very happy with it, this game. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, all the games you tested, if you fix any of the issues. It would be nice to have a list of games that are known to work. So if it doesn't work for you, you know, okay, I'm doing something wrong, or I have to fix something, or I have to do something different. So share your experience with this, because I truly believe this is a game changer, okay? This is a game changer. And yeah, before I finish the video, to my point of paid mods and all of that, before this mod, there were other mods that were doing the same thing that you had to pay for them. Okay? And now this one is free. So what happened if you pay for those mods and now you have this one is free? How does that feel? Okay? So yeah. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and if you have any questions.